Kane Tejada is the only Tejada who has yet to rebel from Monet's ways. He's been stuck playing this position, but we've had a few clues in the first few episodes that we may well see Kane finally rebel and break from the shackles which Monet has him locked within. So I'm analysing Kane Tejada's character and how we could see him rebel against Monet and the Tejada family. So welcome back to MovieBot and let's talk about Kane Tejada. Kane Tejada is one character who still in my eyes remains a little unpredictable. The term act now, think later is the perfect way to sum up how Kane attacks situations. And I say the word attack because this is what Kane is good at, this is what he's known for, and this is the position that Monet has him playing. And throughout this character analysis, I'll be talking about his role, his relationships with other characters, his conflicts with other characters, and how his character can change, and how we could well see him rebel against his own family. But first, if you're new to the channel and you want to see more videos like this, especially with Power Book 2 Ghost returning on the 6th of December, then remember to smash the subscribe button. But let's start by talking about what we've learned from Kane's character so far from the first half of the season. And in episode 1, we were introduced to Kane as someone who shouldn't be messed with. We saw his first on-screen kill and it was followed up in the second with another with Uncle Frank. But at the same time, he showed that he wasn't the smartest, as Tariq put him in his place not just once but twice. First when Tariq explained how Frank was a snitch, and second when he realised just why Ramirez was parked outside the Tejadas. Kane was ready to put an end to this cop's life. And this epitomizes the quote by which Power characterizes him by acting first and thinking later. He really wasn't thinking about the consequences at that moment in time, and he could have been soon sharing a cell with Lorenzo if he went ahead and pulled the trigger. Now his role in Power Book 2 so far has been in Monet's shackles. She has him playing in a specific position, and that position is the hitter, the killer, the thug and the bodyguard for Monet and the Tejadas. There is no doubt that Kane is treated differently by Monet and Lorenzo, and now that Tariq is working for the Tejadas, Kane finds himself falling down the pecking order with Monet real quick. And we saw how Kane received Monet's orders to give Tariq his piece, and it's fair to say he for sure won't forget about that moment. We've heard Kane telling Monet that he wants to do more in the family business, but Monet's response to this was, stay in your lane. Kane is hungry for more, but his rash actions and his mentality of acting first, thinking later is what holds him back from being a true leader of the Tejada organization, and one which Lorenzo has realized. This is why he wants Drew to be the head of the organization and not Kane. So with that being said, let's look at the relationships that he has with everyone on the show, and I'm going to come to his conflicts and how this could tie in with his character changing, how we could see him rebel against Monet in just a moment. But his relationship with his family is one of loyalty, and I'm going to speak about Drew, Monet, Tariq, Braden, and hypothetically Tommy Egan as well. Now I don't think we would ever see Kane purposely go out and hurt one of the Tejadas, but he could well do something in a rush of blood which could put someone else in danger, because we saw this with Drew when he was cornered by a cop. Drew said, we ain't killing no cop. Kane said, you ain't, I am. Now this is where his loyalty lies. He will always do what's necessary to protect the Tejadas, and in this situation he was ready to take the rap for this cop's murder if it came down to it, and he would have pulled the trigger if it wasn't for Ramirez. And this was possibly the first time we saw this act now, think later mentality from Kane. But let's talk about his relationship with Monet, and I like to think of it as a love-hate relationship. He loves Monet and he'll do anything that she says, but he hates the position that she has him playing. Monet has him playing this position as the thug, the bodyguard, which he hates, and this is why I think we'll see him rebel in the second half of the season and actually defy Monet, go behind her back, and I think it could have some severe consequences that Monet will have to fix. But I'm going to come to Kane rebelling in just a moment after I've spoken about his relationships with the key characters. Now his relationship with Tariq is an interesting one. Tariq has already, in my opinion, put Kane in his place once when he taught Kane why Frank was a snitch and why he got out of prison early. And quite a few of you guys in the comment section have been saying you want to see Kane and Tariq working together, or Kane actually working for Tariq. But will that happen in this moment in time? Probably not, because Monet is in charge. Would I like to see it eventually if Tariq was to take Monet out, similarly to the way Ghost had to do with Breeze? Then hell yeah would I like to see Kane working with him or for him. But it all depends on what happens with Monet and Tariq. Tariq would have to get rid of Monet in a way where suspicion wouldn't arise on himself, but that's a whole different conversation entirely. But it's fair to say with Kane and Tariq, he isn't in Kane's good books at the moment. Kane I think is jealous of Tariq and the way Monet is treating him. This is how I think Kane wants to actually be treated by Monet. But again, Kane isn't the smartest. He doesn't actually see why Monet is doing this, and that's to get close to Tariq, to get information. Now another interesting relationship that we'll see develop in the second half of the season is with Braden. Braden is one character who I believe will develop by the end of the series, and he'll be a darker character, and I think this will be down to Kane's influence. I think Kane will have a huge influence on Braden's character developing, because I feel Kane, he will test Brayden not just once but many times during the second half of the season, and I feel Kane may actually be surprised at what Brayden can do. I don't think Brayden will disappoint, and I for sure am looking forward to seeing this relationship develop more. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Brayden and Kane's relationship more than Kane and Tariq's relationship, because we already know what Tariq's capable of, but what is Brayden capable of? This is where I think Kane could really aid the development of Brayden's character, similarly with the way Kanan did with Tariq. Now, something I wanted to touch on, and it's completely hypothetical, or maybe we may see it in the future, you just never know with the Power Universe, and it's the relationship that Kane could have with Tommy Egan. Now, no doubt he's not happy with Monet's position that he has in playing at the moment, but if Kane was to join Tommy's crew, because let's not forget, Tommy will need bodies. He's not got Ghost, he's not got Julio, no Dre. So hypothetically, if Kane was working with Tommy, I think Tommy would treat him with a lot more respect and give him a bigger role in his organization than Monet does. Mainly because Tommy will need to be a little bit more strategic with his approach rather than trigger happy. And the resemblance I see in Kane and Tommy is that Kane catches bodies for fun, and that's something Tommy Egan used to do. So I would really love to see Kane as Tommy's protege, but I do go into this in a lot more detail in this video, so I'll link it down below in the description and in the comment section if you want to hear me talk about Kane and Tommy. But let's move on and talk about the conflicts that we'll see Kane have in the last half of the season, because we've seen subtle hints over the first 5 episodes where he's challenged Monet on a few, and Monet shut him down straight away. I think this time in the second half of the season, we're going to see Kane take a different approach and a different attitude towards situations, especially with what we saw in the episode 6 trailer with Kane saying to Monet, "We've got Queens on lock, what do we need him for?" And Monet says, "You're so mad about Tariq, what were you thinking?" So we're definitely going to see Kane either defy Monet's direct orders or go behind her back and doing something that he shouldn't have done. And again, this links back to how he's described best, and that's act first, think later. We can only speculate to what Kane has done and how he's rebelled, but could he have got into a fight with Tariq? Could he have killed Lil Guap when Monet specifically tells him they can't kill him? What about Owl Tejada? Could he be involved? One thing's for sure, Kane is going to rebel, and I think he's going to have some serious consequences for his character and maybe the Tejada family and for the whole organization. We've already seen Drew and Diana be a little rebellious to Monet's ways, with Drew sneaking around with Ev, Diana spending more time up at Stansfield than at home, and Monet's recognized this already, something we saw in the teaser they dropped on Instagram. Zeke I wouldn't say has rebelled exactly, but he's certainly going against Monet's wishes in keeping out of trouble, because he's grabbing Carrie's cheeks again, and that is certainly not going to end well for Zeke. So that only leaves Kane, who we haven't seen rebel against Monet. Now this is who I think will rebel and defy Monet the most in the second half of the season, and when he does, I think he could be dangerous for the Tejadas, because Kane, he really does act first and think later. Now this also comes down to Monet losing her control that she's had over everyone. I'm going to be speaking about this in tomorrow's video, where I dive deep into Monet's character next and talk about her role on the series and how she's slowly losing her control over everyone. So I'm going to be going through that in detail tomorrow. But let me know what your thoughts are about Kane's character, what we went through, what we've seen from him so far from his relationships, his conflicts with Monet, and how we could see him defy Monet's orders and see him become rebellious in the second half of the season. What consequences do you actually think Kane rebelling could have on the Tejadas, on the organization, on Monet? Let me know what your thoughts and comments are down below in the comment section. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, remember to smash the subscribe button. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.